Why'd you laugh there?
Because you were
Did I
just so
say it funny?
delayed, like on my
Oh,
end.
yeah, that might be the dual screen thing. I
It's
hope that
like
doesn't
that.
make it bad for the audience.
Yeah, I don't know. Let us know. I'm sure they'll let us know if it does.
I think it actually syncs it after the fact. So while we may have a little bit of a delay while we're talking, it won't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily translate over.
Oh, excuse me.
So,
Okay, well, that's good.
so I guess is
That's
this
good to know.
technically a game time?
Mm, not really. We're trying to branch out on game time a little bit and make it not as like trivia repetitive. Unless you guys like the repetitive trivia, and then you guys let us know. We'll do trivia
Right.
every week, but
We could
we're
just do
trying to.
coloring one of these times, like who colored in the lines better.
Oh yeah, that would be fun. Little competitions like
Yeah.
that. That would be fun. I would win, I
So
think.
maybe
You're
some
pretty
axe throwing.
artistic too. Huh?
Axe throwing.
Oh, axe throwing. No, I don't like that.
No.
I have always wanted to go to those places, but they're kind of overpriced.
They
I've
have
looked
never
that
looked
into it
into it.
before. Yeah, they're kind of overpriced and overpriced to me for like what I'm doing, I guess. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's
Like
that's
if
what.
I could go and buy a board and some axes for the same amount that it cost me to go do it, then it's just not worth it.
But I guess that's anything, right? Like anything that you go out and do. You're,
True.
you know, I could
Yeah.
just go to the local what's it called?
Like Home Depot.
Golf course and
Oh,
do putting for free.
that's
Or I
true.
can go to a
I
putt
thought.
putt course with waterfalls and yeah, you can putt for free. I mean, you need your own
Yeah.
clubs and ball and stuff, but
Right. I thought you were
anyways.
saying you could go to like a Home Depot and just grab some axes and throw them at the wall, which I don't recommend doing.
Yeah, they're usually more protected than that, I think, in Home Depot. But
Yeah, I think so. So
anyways,
back to
today
the
for
topic.
today for game time, we just thought it would be fun. I thought it would be fun for us to find two news articles of the week. So I have one and he has one.
Yeah,
Mine's a
but
little bit
they're
more cutesy
unusual
than
news
his.
articles, right?
Yeah, yeah, just like a fun little news article. Unusual,
Okay. Mine's
fun.
not as cutesy as yours.
Of course, I found a
So
cutesy article.
yeah,
Do you want to go first?
cutesy. No, I think you should.
Okay, perfect. Um, well now like I'm kind of second. I'm kind of getting shy about my article.
Do you want me to do mine
Um,
for? I'll do mine first if you want. I mean,
no, actually, I'd rather just get it out of the way.
all right.
Um, I just got stage fright. Okay, so my article, the title. I wasn't gonna read the title first, but I guess I will. Um, Gal Galapagos tortoises at Philadelphia Zoo become the first time parents at nearly 100 years old.
100 years old.
A
How
100-year-old
how long
turtle
do they
just became
live?
parents. It says Philadelphia, a pair of critically endangered, nearly 100-year-old Galapagos tortoises at the Philadelphia Zoo have become first time parents. In an announcement Friday, the zoo said it is overjoyed at the arrivals of the four hatchings. At first, in its more than 150-year history, the babies are the offspring of the zoo's two oldest residents.
That's crazy.
Isn't that adorable? You know what? I actually knew a girl. I used to work with her back in the day, and she had a tortoise. I don't know if it was a
Okay.
Galapagos, probably not a Galapagos tortoise, but she had a tortoise, and she got it when it was just small, like could literally fit in her hand. And um, over time, I knew her for for a couple of years, and over time, it actually did get big. And I'm pretty sure all of those tortoises just in general, live to be so old. Like they'll
That's
ride through your
wild.
whole life and your grandchildren's life probably with you.
Right? Like that's a terrible that makes it a terrible like a pet shouldn't outlive me.
Yeah, aren't there birds like that too?
Yeah, I
There's
think
other
like
animals that
parrots and some cockatiels maybe live to be like 70 years old, something like that. Yeah.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
all of that, that tortoise. Everyone who was alive when that tortoise was born at the zoo. I don't know if he was born at the zoo, but
Yeah.
they're gone now.
Yeah.
It's
So
crazy.
fun fact, it's the tortoise is from the Galapagos Islands.
Hmm.
The story of the Philadelphia Phillies mascot,
Hmm.
the Fanatic, he's supposed to
Hmm.
be also from the Galapagos Islands. So
The fanatic. What is
yeah,
he?
the
He's
Philly
not a
Fanatic.
tortoise.
He's I don't know what he is.
Oh, you're just saying like that's where he originates from.
That's what they say. Yeah. Is
Oh,
he a
I wonder
bird?
if
Maybe he's a bird.
I always got bird energy from him. That would make sense, kind of, given the
Yeah. It's kind of
you
got the
know.
tail feathers thing, right?
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if that's why they have the Galapagos tortoise at the zoo, but
That could be, or that could be. Yeah.
they just became parents. Adorable.
Yeah.
Poor
That's
poor
crazy.
babies. I don't know. He might be able to live half his life at least with his parents. I don't know how old they actually live, but if they can
Yeah.
become parents at 100, I mean, I would at least assume he got another 50 years.
Yeah. Which is even crazier, like to think about, you know, how
100
much
might
longer
be
they're
middle
going to live.
aged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If they're like, or maybe they're young, they might live to 300.
Yeah,
Like it is
it also
crazy to
made
think of any animals outliving humans by like that much, by like that much.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Because, but then I think about, the cats or my little Rainy. I wish
Yeah.
she could live at least as long as I live. Okay, let's
Right.
at least give them like 50 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you figure you get
But
an
dogs
animal
and
when
cats,
you're yeah, if you get an animal when you're like, let's say 12,
mhm.
that animal lives 50 years, then you're 62 when the animal dies.
Yeah, and that's fine.
That would be
I'm probably,
acceptable. Yeah.
that is a really long commitment though as well. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about like parrots. Like, what if you get a parrot and it lives 70 years and like 30 years in, you're like, why did I get it this parrot?
Yeah, I think I
Then what do
would
you
be over
do?
it before 30 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Even the tortoise. I think I would get
Yeah.
the tortoise because he's so cute and small. And then once he becomes ginormous and he's
Yeah.
so
He becomes the
slow and
size
he's
of a
in the way
coffee
all the
table.
time. Yeah, he's making a mess. I think I would be over it probably around the 10-year mark. Like, oh my
He's
gosh, he's really gonna outlive me. This is crazy. Because how do I get rid of it?
yeah. He's putting you into the poorhouse for like lettuce, all
Yeah.
the lettuce he
Yeah, I would drop him off at the zoo fast.
right?
Here,
Well,
you
I
guys
feel
can
like you
have
could
him.
go just take him, put him in. I don't know. Do they live in water? I know some turtles do and some don't.
I would
You
kind
got
of
to
feel
know that because if
bad
you
putting
take
him
him
in
and put him in
water.
the water and he's not supposed to be in the water, then he dies.
Mm-hmm. Do you think alligators would eat the tortoise? Because I know they eat regular turtles, but do you think an
I
alligator
don't
would
know.
go after a big old tortoise like that?
Yeah, I feel like if it's enough like proportionately close to its size, it's not
Oh my
gonna try
gosh, I
that.
saw a video before of a turtle try. Actually, he did escape from the alligator. So sad.
We have the turtles back here by the lake, and we had one that was a bigger turtle. I don't know if it was. I think it might have been an alligator snapping turtle, and he was probably
Alligator
about
snapping turtle.
yeah. They're just called that because the front of their nose looks like an alligator's mouth.
Oh my
The shape of
gosh.
it. Yeah.
What?
But and they're also weird. At least this is the one I'm thinking of. They're really weird because they'll bring their neck out of their shell, and it looks like a snake coming up out of the shell. Like they're just very weird looking.
Some of
So
them are
we
mean, I heard too.
oh yeah, they are. They're very mean. So we had one come out of the lake back here behind the house, and it got about I don't know maybe 10 feet from the shoreline in the grass, and it lifted its head up like they do, and it was looking
Mhm.
up, and I don't know what it saw above it, but that thing turned around and flew back in the lake, and I'm like, wait, I thought they were slow. Like it went faster than any creature I've ever seen. Like it was. I wish I had it on video because it would definitely go viral.
I think in water they can move pretty fast. I
Yeah,
think
but this
it's
wasn't
when.
water. He was
Mm.
moving to the water from the ground.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, he was
Mm.
about 10 feet away from the water.
He's an alligator snapping turtle. They're built
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they got those big back flippers and they just, I don't know.
The shape of his nose just makes him more aerodynamic.
Yeah, that's it. They don't have that round, face.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah,
yeah, that's my
that's a
story.
good story. You know what's funny? When I was looking for a
Yeah,
story, I came across that same story.
that's funny.
How funny would it have been if that was mine? I
I was
picked,
pretty confident that you weren't going to pick something like that.
yeah, no,
So
there was like two or three news sites that one came up on though. So
oh
it
wow,
must be
so it's
recent. It's
yeah, it's a
within the
big
last couple of weeks.
deal.
So mine is a little bit darker.
Oh,
Child complains of monster under the bed. Babysitter then comes face to face with the man hiding there. So
I think I saw that on Instagram.
yeah, apparently it was like the kids were scared because they said, no, there's a monster under the bed. And
Mm.
the babysitter's like, okay, I'll check and make sure there's no monster. And pulls the covers up and there's this guy there. And yeah, crazy. Apparently the story is he used to live in the house. And at some point in the recent past, he had been like trespassed because he'd
Mhm.
been there before and the police had come and told him he wasn't allowed to be there.
Oh my gosh.
And apparently he was back and he was like, okay, I got to hide under the
What?
bed. But it's also kind of
No
scary.
way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also kind of scary though,
No,
because
that's
you
so
wonder
creepy.
what he had planned.
Probably just a weirdo that, was trying to go back and like,
Relive his
I don't
childhood.
know, just hang out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Relive his
Yeah. And
childhood.
there is that weird thing like when you've lived in a house and then you're
Mhm.
near that house but you can't go in now because it's not your house anymore. Like that's a
Mhm.
very awkward thing. Like I remember the house mostly that I grew up in as a kid, like the most of my childhood was in. We knew the people that lived next door. Obviously, they were next door neighbors for years. And like we went there to visit them one time after we'd moved out. And it's just
Mhm.
so weird that door being next door. And it's like, well, I just want to go in because
Have
it
you
used to be my
seen
house.
there was like a trend, I guess, on social media a year or two back, and it was people going on Zillow and like searching their childhood home to see if it's been recently sold or what it looks like.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
neat idea.
Mhm.
Yeah,
To see if it still looked the same or not. I
yeah,
tried doing R1, but I couldn't, I didn't see
yeah.
anything.
Which one?
The one in Drums, the
The
last
one
one
in
we lived in
drums, yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, that
But
I don't
it
think
didn't.
Zillow's not as much of a thing up there.
Yeah, well, I just to be honest, I just don't even think it was like sold recently.
Oh, that could be, yeah. Because I think it was a rental, so it's
Mhm.
probably still a rental.
Yeah. So they weren't even advertising it like that. I was like,
Yeah, I
well,
never
I
thought
should
of doing
expect
that, but
that.
now that you said that, I think I'm gonna do that tonight. Everywhere I lived
Mhm.
as a kid.
Yeah. And the one person, they were saying that like their house, weirdly enough, from their childhood, it looked the exact same. Like they didn't
Wow.
update it, they didn't do anything to it. It looked pretty much the exact same.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's depending on how old the house was, that could be really weird though, you know.
It was pretty old,
Yeah.
apparently.
I'd
But
be I'd be curious to see like your nana's house up in
mhm.
Drums, what the people who
Mhm.
bought it did to it because that
Oh
needed
yeah.
a lot. So I'd be curious to see what it looked like.
Yeah, but that's creepy with somebody underneath the bed.
Yeah, right.
Did he get arrested? Well, actually, you know what? If he got trespassed, the thing about trespassing, I don't know what state that was in, but at least in Florida, as far as I know, like you get trespassed, you get sent to jail, and then you're out like pretty soon.
Yeah.
So what's stopping him from going back? If I was those people, I would probably just move. I would want to move. I know that's easier said than done, but I would want to move.
Yeah. Well, it says, but following his latest arrest, a judge ordered him jailed without bond. The sheriff's office said additional requested charges included aggravated burglary, aggravated
Mm.
battery, and child endangerment. So he got extra
That's how they
charges. So
get you. They
maybe he's
add all
not
those
getting out.
extra. Yeah, they add those extra charges.
Yeah. I feel like they just need to take him somewhere, drop him off in the middle of somewhere where he can't find his way back to the house. You know? And hopefully he's not like those stories where somebody forgets their dog on vacation and the dog somehow finds its way home.
Oh my gosh, I saw this super sad. I sent it to mom. Some of the videos of like animals just get me so in my feels on Instagram and TikTok. But this I don't know if it was a couple or who it was, but they found this abandoned cute little dog, like kind of looked like it was like part at least part Shih Tzu or something, but super cute dog. And somebody left him. He was a puppy. It was a little puppy, and somebody just left him underneath a tree in the park, where I guess it's known for people to just dump their animals. And he was all by himself with just his bed and his water bowl, or yeah, water bowl. And he
Aw.
was all
So the
dirty and he was so scared, and they got him. They took him in. They gave him a nice little bath, a little spa day.
yeah.
Bought him some pajamas, and like the last clip was just him sleeping peacefully, I don't know, on the bed or the couch or
Yeah.
something like that. I was like,
Sometimes with some of those stories, I feel like they're maybe made up, like they're clickbait. But
I
at the
don't
same time, I know
know.
there are a lot of people that do that kind of thing, and I never understand it because there's pet rescues everywhere. That if you can't have your animal anymore, you can take them too.
Yeah, and not even just the pound, like
Yeah,
actual like foster homes and yeah, rescue places that will at least take care of them until
yeah,
they find a home. So I found
yeah,
my own
exactly.
ring.
And something like that, if it's a little puppy, they're gonna have no problem finding a home for it. So I don't get it.
I know when I went to the shelter, all the older kitty cats, so sad.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah,
shelter cats
exactly.
forever. It's so sad. But they
I
still take
know.
care of them pretty good there. I don't know.
Yeah, they
The
do. I
workers
think
looked
with
like they
the ones
liked
around
animals enough.
here, yeah, I think the ones around here, they foster a lot of them too. So they're staying at people's houses. They're not like stuck in a cage somewhere all the
Oh,
time.
like they go there during the day, but then,
Right.
oh, that makes sense too.
Yeah. So we had one lighthearted story and one much darker.
I feel like
So
after our Tuesday episode, they needed something a
yeah,
little more lighthearted on a Thursday.
and I still came in with the dark story.
I don't think it was that dark though. I was
Yeah.
expecting worse. It was just a man, a weirdo hiding under children's beds.
Yeah.
Imagine being the kid though. That also traumatizing.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
The
because now you're never
babysitter.
going to sleep.
Imagine you're the babysitter and the kids that you're babysitting are like, "There's a man under our bed. It's a monster." Okay, okay. No, it's not. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
No, there is. Please go check. There's a monster, please.
Yeah.
And then
If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna hide under the kid's bed, at least dress in like a suit like Sully from Monsters Inc.
no. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then
Like
it
a
would at
huge
least be,
monster. Yeah.
yeah,
Like Reptar.
yeah.
Can't fit under the bed. How did he get in? I want to know way more details than that.
That's true.
How did he get in the house?
Yeah, I don't know. He used to live there, but I hope they changed the locks, especially after
Got
he'd
some
done this
cameras or
before.
something.
Yeah, right.
A trip sensor
That
in the
too.
window. Like, he knew
Yeah.
exactly where to
A
go.
home alarm system. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
irresponsible babysitter left the door unlocked. No, I'm just
That's
kidding.
what it is. Yeah.
Sorry, babysitter, if you're
Yep.
listening. Probably not,
Yeah.
but
No. Yeah.
have to cover
Yeah.
myself just in case.
Yeah. That's true. Because it doesn't really give those details. Although
Mm.
it does say he knocked the babysitter and one of the kids over when he was trying to get out, I guess.
Oh, so she found him and he was just like,
Yeah,
scram. Oh, that's
exactly.
funny. I mean, that's really all you can do. But also, you're
Yeah.
stuck under the bed, so.
Also true. Right. All right.
That's funny.
Well, I let us know how you like this one. This was definitely a little different. We have some other ideas for some ways to mix it up. So we'll get working on those. And if you have any ideas of good game time episodes, let us know.
Yeah, hit up our inbox.
That's right. Bye, guys.
Bye.